I used to do those with my daughters, but I'd put them up here.
Oh, yeah.
So they had, like, the little I call them honey buns. I call them
Oh,
little
I
honey
like
buns
that.
up on
Yeah, and then I
anyway.
brought these fake plants behind me so I didn't look like I was just in a blank wall, so
Well, you look like you're between 2 ferns, which is so great.
yeah. Actually, have you thought
We're gonna
about doing that as your next segment?
let's just have a really awkward interview. How
Yeah.
about that? I could do that right now.
So you
Okay, I'm
run.
recording.
Just kidding.
What was that?
So you run? Why?
Yeah, so I've heard there's other, like do you know Sarah McLachlan? Sh Her name is Sarah,
Oh,
but
yeah. She, like, runs music, though, like, is that different? I don't I don't know. What even is
we between 2 Sarah Gage. Um, I am in this swell cabin. I'm trying to camp at Lake Livingston, and this is what I found myself to record in. It's pretty darn special, especially because Billy Bob is out front, and he just got broken up with, and he's got his boat and a whole lot of sad country songs. Just
Oh, wow.
crank it.
Wow. So are you gonna become friends with Billy Bob, or are we keeping our
No,
distance?
no, we'll keep you guarded. I will be staying safely a safe distance. However, the nice thing about this recording suite is it blocks a lot of the background noise, and so I don't think y'all can hear the very loud, very sad country music being played, but I might, you might see me, like, catch a beat for a sec.
Well, it sounds like you found a great recording studio for this week, and maybe other
Right.
podcasts should consider it.
It's like a retreat. It's like a recording retreat here
Yeah.
at Lake Livingston. I did just pull in from a run, so I'm just, like, a little sweaty, but I noticed that in the area, this might be the best thing that you could get.
Well, you look lovely as well, and I'm
Yeah.
digging the neon pink because that's awesome. Nice.
Come run. It's from local little 5K
Oh,
that
cool.
my friend puts on. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's you can't miss me.
We're like
Um,
opposites. I'm like ninja in the black, and you're like,
Ninja in the
"Hello," in the
jungle. You're like Ninja Jungle Girl in the
Yeah.
trees. Cool, okay, we're gonna officially start. This is how I've been doing these lately, just push record and all of that's going in. So, now that we're a few minutes in, welcome to the Drop Bag Podcast. I am here with Sarah Gage, who's been on twice before, I believe.
Yes, I am
One
stoked.
for
Vermont.
we did Vermont 100.
Mhm. And one for we just talked about shoes, which was awesome.
I wanna do it again.
I know.
I
I mean, seriously, there's so many shoes that come out all the time, like, legitimately could be a segment that you do, like, at least twice a year. I mean
Oh, yeah. No, and I'm constantly, like, just, like, hiding my credit card from myself so I don't just go buy them all because
I know.
they're so cool and so pretty, and I
Yeah.
want them.
It's yeah. I mean, yeah, I feel like we gotta, like, cut ourselves a little bit on the whole shoe thing because, I mean, I feel like we could just take that and never come out of that tunnel of shoe
Yeah.
talk
Oh, yeah.
again.
I think whole, like, conversational pace
Yeah,
with Brent Hornick, who's like, that's what he does. He does
that's a
anything
great
that
show. They do a good job on that show. It's a good listen. Yeah.
yeah, we could join. Okay, well, this leads us very nicely into drop bag items of the week. So, I will mention Sarah just raced last weekend.
Mhm.
The name of the race is Sierra Vistas Trail Runs. You did the 50K.
Yeah.
Anything else you wanna just kinda shout out about the weekend
Yeah.
race?
Yeah, it's a great event. It's my first time doing it. So I live in New Mexico, near Albuquerque, but this was, about 3.5 hours south in Las Cruces. So it's put on by the Southern New Mexico Trail Alliance. And, I mean, I've driven through Las Cruces once. I mean, it looked cool, but it's far enough away that I don't haven't, like, made a weekend trip out of it before. But, anyway, saw it on the calendar, heard other people had done it before and was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And so drove down the night before, and there's also a half marathon, 10K and 5K, so they get a lot of people, mostly in the shorter distances, but the 50K still had, a good number of people, and it was so beautiful. Like, it was an out and back on this trail called Sierra Vista Trail, and it's more or less net down on the way out and then net up. You get about 2,000-ish feet of vert over the whole thing. Um, Lots of rocks mixed with also sections where it, like, smooths out and it's like, you know, um, just, like, clear dirt, but it was gorgeous, and, like, the whole time, it was very easy to be, like, just enjoying the mile you're in and, well, assuming you're fueling, that's easier to do it when you're fueling, but yeah, I highly recommend that race. Yeah, really beautiful, so
Okay. I think you need to post more about it because I saw, like, 2 photos, so
Okay. Yeah,
if you
I
could.
should. I should. They
A little
they
bit
do
more.
such a good job, and it's really, like, a fun, supportive environment. Yeah, yeah, more Albuquerque people should, so Albuquerque folk or more El Paso folk. I think there's more El Paso people from there or at the race than, Albuquerque, but yeah. Yeah, I should post more about it.
Well, and one of those photos that I saw of the 2 was you standing on the top of the podium, so there's that.
Yeah, that was it's going to make me all awkward. Yeah, yeah,
That's what we do here.
yeah,
You're between 2 ferns, we do awkward.
right. Yes. No, yeah, that was cool. That was, yeah, it was fun. Those the 2 ladies yeah, we it's the people kinda spread out a bit, so I met them after more. Yeah, it was really cool. It was fun to try to yeah, I went down trying to run fast and, keep a consistent, working it effort and, yeah, so it was cool. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, we have decided that we'll try to do post-race recaps
Mhm.
separately from this because we have other things we wanna talk about first.
Yeah, let's do it.
Um, but it sounds like you've got some good things to share from that race.
Well, I wanna
One
hear
of
how
which
y
I would
I wanna hear about how you're feeling. Are you feeling, like, a little better from last podcast mentally from your huge effort?
there will also be a caveat before the start of this one, like, I am okay, I've I have been eating just copious amounts of food. I have been, like, impressing myself. I'm like a bottomless pit. I wake up hungry. I go to bed full. I wake up I'm just eating. Not all of it is very healthy. I've just been I've been, like, running out of healthy food because I eat it all, and then I gotta move on to the unhealthy food. However, so I'm doing this race in April. It's, the Patagonia Run. It's just the marathon. They do have, like, 100K and 100 mile, but didn't fit
Mhm.
in for my trip, so I just have time to do the marathon, but it's gonna be awesome. It's, like, this
Wait,
beautiful
in
mountain.
Patagonia?
Mhm, yes.
What? That's
Yeah, I
sick.
know. So, a little bit of a heartbreaker that it's not the 100 mile because 'cause I'm like, "Oh gosh, I'm there, but I don't get to do the whole thing."
Yeah.
It's okay. Um, but to do this race, you have to have a medical release, and so I just went in what day is it? Yesterday. I've had work has been nuts. I've been, like, in conferences and on sites, and I'm a hot mess. But I had to go in for this physical yesterday, and sh long story, they wound up wanting to do some lab work because long story. And I thought everything is gonna be fine, and I just got the note in my inbox that says "abnormal." And so I
Oh.
opened it up, and I am, like, dangerously low on sodium
Oh,
and calcium. So I was
wow.
like, "Oh, that makes sense," because I've been leaning more towards, like, sugary, carby stuff than,
Uh-huh.
like, any kind of, like, electrolyte sodium, and I'm like, "You dummy." That's why I think that's why I'm feeling still just, like, not quite right because I haven't balanced my sodium.
Oh, I think
So
the sodium part with hydration is so key. I've had an experience in the past where, um, I was also low sodium, and I was like, "Why are my legs are not coming around?" Like, my muscles were
Mm.
feeling, like, much yeah, like, pretty crappy for longer than I thought they should, and then, like, increasing the sodium made me more hydrated and things got better, so, yeah, anyway, that's good to know,
And
though. So
just after this, so it was like just kind of I mean, I fully expect it. I'm always a little bit annoyed when I go to the doctor and they're not like, "Whoa, you're so healthy," you know? Always like, "Yeah, you'll do," and I'm like, "No, I"
yeah. Yes.
Anyway, they're never that impressed. I've been
Yeah.
told that I'm overweight before, and I'm just like, I don't I'm I don't know what to say, but thank you.
Maybe get a new doctor, the one that tells you
I know, it's
you're
like anyway, so it was kinda cool to be able to, see some I mean, I'm 2 weeks out, so you'd think I'd be all fine by now. But here's my question.
not necessarily, that's a huge
Uh,
effort. So, anyway, go ahead.
also, I had some massive nutritional disasters on that. Here's my question, though. Um, I don't like electrolyte drinks. I don't like them ever. I don't like them in a race.
Huh,
I don't like them sitting by the pool. I don't ever want to drink them.
okay.
And obviously, that's a great way to get yourself all balanced.
Uh-huh.
So, after having read my lab results at this conference I sat at, and then I had to go out to a job site, I was like, "What am I gonna do? I need some sodium." So I swung into the Circle K, and I got myself a hot dog,
Yes.
and it was great. I was like,
Yeah.
"This has gotta have a ton of sodium."
Yeah.
Thinks like, can I mean, I also wasn't hungry, which was weird, so I was, like, kind of force feeding the hot dog. Like, is it worth it? Should I just like, pinch my nose and chug the electrolyte drink, or can I get back on track with the hot dogs? That's what I wanna know, Sarah.
We are calling this segment "Hot Dog with Kelly and Sa" Okay, first of
The
all,
kitchen.
gas station hot dogs are kind of underrated. Sometimes you just need a hot dog, and it's better than some of the other options, so there is no judgment, only, like,
Okay,
soak on that.
Sarah, I'm glad we're talking about this because I have the hot dog gas station often because I'm out on sites, I'm all like, I'm
Mhm.
wetland scientisting, and there's a gas station, and I want a hot dog, like, it sounds good maybe because of the sodium, and I have been a little perturbed about these gas stations getting rid of the rolling hot dog instead of having like, a lot of them have kind of um, like a food bar. Like, I mean, some of them have, like, a Subway or something, but some of them have, like you can get, like, tacos or something. I'm like, I don't need your fancy taco. I
Uh-huh.
want my I want my spinny hot dog."
Yeah. Okay, so did you mark down where those were? Because we could probably write a note to your senator and ask to address this problem.
Like,
Yeah,
"Great state of Texas, where have your hot dogs gone?"
yeah. Well, there's that song, "Where have all the hot dogs gone?" You know that song? Yeah.
There's okay.
I might have put those words on a different song.
Okay, I was like, "We need to talk off
Yeah.
off the record."
Okay,
There
but
is no hot dog
my
song, Sarah.
okay, in terms
I know you're a musician, you just made that up.
of I'm not gonna be able to pull the
'Cause
name of the song off the top of my head of what I was putting the lyric
you're
KG to, but whatever. So, but in terms of sodium and stuff though, like, I mean, if you don't like having electrolyte drinks, then I mean, I think you can get it through food. I think within Yeah, I think it just depends on the, like, everything in balance, like, it's like hot dogs are particularly in recovery, like, it has the protein, it has fat, it has a lot of sodium, I mean, also, like, have you tried salt pills or salt tabs? I think I mentioned this on the Vermont 100 episode. There's this company called Base Electrolyte Salt that's, like, loose salt, and I literally, like, put my, finger in it, after licking my finger, yeah, and then put in the salt, and then you get
Oh, yes, 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 yes. I remember you
so you
talking
don't
about that,
have
and
to
I
drink like, so a lot of time, I'm commonly just grabbing water during the ru during the run, and I'm actually trying to go back now to at least occasionally having drinks with electrolyte or carbs in them also, like, some to have some mix, but, like, I commonly just want water during these events, and then I'm ta getting sodium from these other, um yeah, like, have you ever had, what's that brand? Oh, Salt Lick, the little tabs, you can just suck on them. Have you had those before?
yeah, so I hate all of that.
Oh, you hate all of that. Okay.
I do like the capsules because that you just have to swallow down.
Well, it sounds
So
like either that or the loose, like, electrolyte stuff that's unflavored that sounds like your best solution, like, I think you'd like, I mean, not knowing what your sodium electrolyte hydration needs are, or whatever, like, it's, probably should be having something at least during your race, a lot of these, carb
well, so
things.
I did.
Oh, you did?
I was taking the tablets during my race. Or no, sorry, they're not tablets, they're capsules that you
Mhm,
just swallow. Because I
mhm.
know, like, I'm okay with those. But I guess what I'm learning is, like, you might need to continue taking those after your race, especially if you're like me and you're not, like, chugging Gatorades or anything like that. Like,
Yeah.
there might be, like, a couple days post-race where you still need to keep those, electrolytes a lot higher than you
Yeah,
normally do.
if you're not having electrolyte drinks, then yeah, I think you should because it's like I'm usually always having like well, um I have a bunch of different I like electrolyte drinks, but like one I like is Element, the LMNT. You
Oh,
don't
I know.
you don't like it. Okay. Well, I like it, but that has
It's
like
so strong.
well, it depends on how if you put it in more water, it's, not as strong. But yeah, certain flavors are yeah, I my favorite's the grapefruit flavor personally. Yeah, okay. Well, this is not a recommendation for you, but for the general people, somebody's gotta like electrolyte drink.
Oh, most people, like, I don't know why. It never, never do I want one. I don't know why.
Well, then,
So
yeah,
silly.
it
Okay.
sounds like I mean, it doesn't matter how you get your sodium, but yeah, if you really low on sodium, you gotta get it in. So either have a hot dog or have like a bunch of salt pills. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna go take some pills whenever the name of the song I think you were doing was "Where Have All the Cowboys
Yeah,
Gone,"
that's what I
which
was
is
trying to do. Yeah.
a great Texas
I
song.
know,
So,
I'm trying to appeal to the audience here. Yeah.
just weaving in those themes here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright, that did not get us through. That was a derail to hot dogs, which is not my drop bag item. But you had a race.
Hot
Anything you
dog in a
used
drop bag. Be fantastic.
I mean, I don't think it's gonna go bad.
Yeah.
It's a
Oh,
hot dog.
yeah.
Probably pretty safe if you're trying to get some protein. Okay,
Okay,
we're
sorry.
gonna we're
Mhm.
gonna move on
Okay.
from hot dogs, and we are gonna talk anything from your race/prep, maybe some training runs that you want to recommend as your drop bag item.
Mm. Well so, on trails
Sorry. You're just like, "Hmm." So thoughtful.
yeah, I already have an answer planned, and I was just like, stall for a thoughtful look.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, just effect.
Yeah, no, so well, a couple things. So this trail was so, like, curvy that, it's like I think it's like sometimes it's like a shoe may not normally give you a blister in, like, mid-foot or something, but if, like, it's super, like, more technical, lots of you're more likely to get and so it's like I I didn't end up stopping to, like, do anything with my feet during, but I totally could have used, like, a just, like, to add some, squirrel nut butter, Vaseline, whatever you use, um,
Salty
salty
britches.
britches, and, and, and then, like, a Band-Aid or moleskin or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, um that would have been good. I didn't have it in my drop bag. And then another one that you will hate, but I was like, this time, like, because sometimes it is good for us. folk that can handle flavored water, that, it's like I usually just have carbs and gels, like, carbs in my gels, and then just drink mostly water in events, and have other, like, sources for sodium. But then, having, like, a scratch electrolyte drink that has 20 grams of carbs in it to just, like, supplement and just kinda, because that's kinda feels like, for me, sometimes I don't always want, like, the super high carb stuff because I do want it mostly to taste like water and kind of, like, lighter so I can still get down my other gels. Um, but yeah, anyway, so it was fun to practice with that again and just being like it's just kind of yeah, just sipping on carbs, bringing that energy, so yeah.
That just made me think of another song. What was that one that's like sipping on something? Sipping on anyway, it's not carbs.
Well, now you're making me think of Watermelon Sugar, you know that song by
Oh, yeah, there's okay, we're just gonna it's a very musical episode.
It is. Okay, what's yours?
Okay, I just wanna say,
Mhm.
this is before Sam's Last Stand, slash even, like, some of my harder training, like, when I was kinda trying to get ready for the marathon, I just would like everybody to go buy some salty britches. And before you do anything that's gonna be slightly difficult, put a little layer on,
Y
and you will thank
For
yourself.
those
Like,
not
it is
watching, she
such
was miming to cover her entire body in salty britches.
yes, it's just like, you never
Mm.
know. I found I was doing a lot of hard treadmill efforts to get ready for Houston Marathon, and this is old lady talk, but my knees hit often. Like, I don't know why. I don't think that's a good thing. I think maybe the skin got a little flabbier.
Oh,
Those
wow.
knees are hitting,
Yeah.
and I can rub my knees, like, the insides of my knees raw, like, put some salty britches on there,
Wow.
and I
Yeah.
know that's coming for you, Sarah,
No, that's
'cause
that's a really good
just
that's a good point,
just
though.
invest now,
Yeah. I mean, it is totally true. We all, like, chafe in, like, different spots. Uh,
and it changes, like, I
yeah.
didn't used to do that,
Yeah.
now I do.
Yeah, you didn't used to be a knee swisher.
Like, well, a knee chafer. Who
Knee
chafes on their knees? My goodness. Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. No, big one for me, I have to is, like, the right under my arms, like yeah, that spot.
Like, and sometimes it's, like, even back here,
Yeah.
not that I'm chafing, but it's, like, it just gets, like, sore or, like, my deodorant kind of will ball up, and
Yeah.
if I'll just put some salty britches right there, I don't have that,
Your
and I
deodorant
also
balls
get
up?
yeah, it's I don't know, like, every, like, 20 miles in, I go like this, and I'm like, what is
Huh.
this?"
I
There's,
think you
like
need a new deodorant unless it's also salty britches. Then you should keep using it.
I have asked them to just create all of the, like, body products, like, I need some shampoo that works better.
Yeah.
Anyway, I also chafe, like, under my sports bra right here a
Oh,
lot,
I do
or
too. Yeah.
sometimes
Yeah.
so, anyway, I just it's just a saver. I'm like, why chafe if you don't have to?
Yeah.
You don't have
That's a good
to.
slogan.
You know?
Yeah. Why
Yeah.
chafing?
Ooh, that I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah. We should tell the marketing
Okay,
team that. Yeah.
today oh, I was gonna do it this week while running because I have a good one.
Okay.
So, your post-race do you have any this week while running? Anything fun that happened? Maybe a good workout, maybe something weird? I don't know, just this week while running.
Well, I've mostly just been trying to keep it chill this week. Trying to since I am doing uh a 60K in April, so about a month from now, wanted to just like not overdo this week so that I can, be hungry and ready to go and start workouts again next week. So I've just been chilling, just like doing, hour easy runs and I'll probably do a little longer maybe tomorrow or Sunday, but no, I'm just easy going this week and yeah, having fun. So
You're so chill, Sarah.
yeah.
Okay, well, I will tell you what I just did since I just
Okay.
showed up for this episode all sweaty. I'm staying at Lake Livingston for the couple days with my cousin. We're checking things out, and I had to get my run in, and so I found this road that seemed fairly safe that went all the way out on this, like, kind of peninsula to the water
Mhm.
because it's a lake. So, it's great, and it's pretty hilly, so that's exciting to me because I never get to do hills in Houston. So, I'm going along, and I notice every time a car is passing me, similarly, a car is also going the other way, and so every single time a car passed me, and there's no shoulder, so I'm having to, like, dive off the side of the road to get out of the way because
Oh.
they can't scoot over because a car is at the exact same time. All 3 of us are, like,
No.
coming together on this one lonely road out to a dead end, like, it's a dead end at the end of this place, by the way, with a lake, and I'm just like, "How is this happening? How is it that every time one car passes, another car has to pass, and I'm also passing, and all 3 of and I obviously have to, like."
It's a coordinated effort to mess with you, I think. That's all I can.
Yeah, they're like,
Ready? Start going.
Have you ever felt like that? Like, where you're just like, "Seriously, what's going on here?"
Oh, yeah,
I
or,
don't it
like,
took
the
me
only other there's one car passing, but then there's a family on the other side of the street trying to go the opposite direction, so you're trying to give them room, and then the car goes in between you, and it's like, they probably think that's chaotic, and it's like, "What's happening?"
Yes.
So,
Yeah. Sometimes on the run, it just is like all the
yeah.
stars are not, and not that this was so terrible, but it
Mhm.
it was starting to get suspicious. I was getting suspicious about
Yeah.
what's going on up here at Lake
Well,
Livingston.
they heard about your hot dog complaints at gas stations, and they came for you.
They're like, "We better go stock up before Kelly gets here."
Yeah.
That's how they're gonna make some money this weekend. Me in town, slightly sodium deprived.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Okay, let's talk. So,
Okay.
Sarah and I wanted to talk a little bit about, um, just, like, some mental strategies going into races, going into training. I'm gonna pull up this is actually all Sarah's idea. Sarah wanted to talk about it.
Well, I was just like, "I gotta be a good co-host. I gotta come up with some ideas."
And you did, you brought it. I'm excited. So there has been talk in the running world. I believe it was Senor Poopy who said that fitness wins a race. No, no, no. He said fitness wins a race and there's too much hype about the mental. And we talked about this on a previous podcast, like where is the mental versus the fitness and how does that affect you going into some of these races? So maybe Sarah, we can just start off getting your take on that. I've shared mine.
Mhm.
Maybe you wanna share a little bit more on just, like, your thoughts on mental versus fitness, and maybe, like, an experience that you've had where one of those 2 things showed up.
Yeah. I I mean, there's a very strong chance taking that out of context that, that quote from Senor Poopy, but it's also, like, both are so important. Like, it's unbelievable what your mind can help you do when you believe and push for something, even if maybe you're not physically ready for something. On the other hand, the more fit you are, the more likely it is that you'll be able to, run well and and maybe feel good about, like, the effort you're putting out. But also, the more fitness you have, the more likely you are to then be able to top that with the mental of being able to push, because I feel like this sport, marathoning, ultramarathon, all of it is like, it's like people aren't comfortable. Like, isn't the concept of being comfortable or pushing yourself, like, all use mental strength? And so it's like you can push yourself more, I think, when you have a layer, like a strong base of fitness. Like, a great example is, like, I think the person who, like, epitomizes this is Tara Dower. I mean, total beast of an athlete. She's so fast, she's so strong, but I've heard other people talk about this is not coming from me, but, like, her mental strength to just, like, believe and push so hard and just, like, commit to that effort is, like, mind-blowing. And, like, her like, it's that gives her that, like, that sizzle, that shine, that, like, I mean, just epicness that she's able to display over and over again, like, that mental strength. I mean, it's crazy. She's amazing, right? Like, I mean, there's other people that absolutely fit that, but she's and then, I mean, Courtney Walter talks about this all the time about the idea of, like, she's, like, trying to dig in her pain cave and, like, chip away with like, I don't remember if she calls it a pick or ice pick or whatever she calls it, to be able to find new rooms, to be able to just, like, channel, and so it's, like, definitely I think going into events and things like that, it's, like, obviously it's ideal to be the fittest you can be at that moment, and then also, like, mentally ready to take it on, but being able to, like, balance those, like, it's also, like, you can be really fit but not mentally in a place to either have fun, maybe you're in a struggling with something and you're not, like, able to actually show up and put in that celebratory, like, fun effort or, like, whatever you're going for, so I definitely think both matter. I don't think it's only mental because you can't just sit on the couch and, like, never do anything and then you know, probably not go to the hospital in 100, but, there's trade-offs, but it's key, um, both of them, so
Yeah. Yeah, I like what you had to talk about. I gotta just zip back to Tara real quick. Did you see the video that she put out from Black
I
Canyons?
haven't seen it yet, it just came out, I think, like, a day or 2 ago. Can't wait to see.
Yeah, she posted it on Instagram. It's just, like, in her bio right
Oh,
now,
yeah.
and it's so good because it just has, like, pieces of her epic, post-race interview,
Oh,
like,
I saw
kind
that,
of,
that
like,
was
uh
amazing.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
so but they it's just such a cool video because they have, like, you know, just her reflecting back on some of the race, but they put it into the race, like, while she's running, like, p things that she said in the post
Oh,
interview,
that's cool.
like, into, like, while she was running, and they just fit it in such cool spots that it, like,
Mhm,
made even more sense, like, of
mhm.
what she was talking about post-race.
Mhm, totally.
It's so good, it's so good, oh my goodness. I, like, share it with, like, non-trail runner friends. I'm like, "Surely, like, this is gonna hit home with anyone because it's
Oh,
just,
yeah.
life in a nutshell." And I think some of what you were saying, Sarah, kind of goes back to maybe what we kind of resolved at the end of that Houston Marathon episode that we did is just like actually it's like an ability to be flexible,
Mhm,
right? Because maybe you're gonna do everything you can to be fit. Maybe you're gonna come in with some mental strategies, but then, like, that flexibility to, like, move between them is really what's gonna get you to do some of your best work. But here's a question before maybe we continue on with that. What happens like, let's say you do have just a killer training block, and you really feel like this is, like, my best training that I've ever like, I was able to fit in what I wanted. I, like, hit my numbers, just it went as well as possible. You're not injured, no niggles, like, everything is just kind of lining
mm,
up. What do you think? I mean, I've heard, like, professional runners be at that point and have a bad race,
mhm,
and I'm just wondering what you think happens. I mean, I feel I haven't been in that place a long time. The most recent this is not recent. I feel like my training and my racing has really, like, evened up. Like, I don't there's
mhm,
not a lot of, like, surprises in my racing, but there's not a lot of like, my training matches it to some extent.
mhm,
But I remember it was, like, year after year in high school cross country. I would get to the state meet and just belly flop. Ever
mhm,
I never had a good state meet ever, like, 4 years in a row. It was like
mhm.
I would just get to the state meet, and I don't know if it was a point of, like, I was overtrained, but I would just feel exhausted and heavy and dead at, like,
Mhm.
minutes into the race.
Mhm.
And so to me, that's like, man, I think I was probably really fit, and maybe that was some mental issues that I was having, but I don't know, have you ever experienced that where you did feel like you showed up physically, but maybe didn't have the race that you were expecting?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's interesting. I mean, well, going back to what you just said about, like, the state meets, I mean, it's amazing though how much, like, the body and the brain are just they're so connected, and so it's like I mean, there's a possibility that it's like you needed a little more taper or you needed something that just, like, made you feel a little bit, like, fresher, like, everyone just has, like, different things to, like, mentally or physically feel, like, ready to go. On the other hand, it's like sometimes the significance of an event or something like that can feel like I feel like a lot on your like, you just kind of been you thinking about it, you've maybe like underlying stress about it, and then you get there and then you're just kind of yeah, you're kind of exhausted. You're like, oh, I made it. But like I haven't even done it yet, but I'm like, you're just like overwhelmed. But yeah, I mean, it's I think I'm I feel like one thing I've been learning over the last couple years is like racing is definitely a skill. Like, I don't think like I think it just depends on your background and different things. Like, I think when you've come from a background of like, it's just, like, even if it's a different sport, like, I think there's something specific about, like, you have to, like, learning about how to, like, maximize your potential over a given distance. Like, for events that are, half marathon or shorter, it's, like, took me a little while to realize, "Oh, people are, like, really going hard on this." And so it's, like and, like, learning to just, like because commonly in training, let's say, like, you do a workout that's, whatever, a few intervals at some pretty hard effort. And then it's like but it's amazing how, like, you can actually, like, sustain that effort longer. The things you were talking about like, you were talking about problem solving, Houston Marathon, how you're able to hold something faster than you realize. But there's just, like, in terms of, like, not pacing, but just, like, effort and just, like, that, like, how, like, different efforts you can like, you're more comfortable or you're more like you're really, like, having to, like, "Okay, stay here, stay up here, like, we're working it." And I think the same thing with, like, marathon, 50K, even 100K trail racing. It's like, it's amazing. I think that's one of the really cool things about seeing all these videos coming from the pros on YouTube is, like you have to both be fit and, like, revving to go. Like, it's like this, like, you show up, you gotta be ready to, like, punch it, you know? And so it's like, I've definitely had the feeling of being like, "Wow, I feel really fit. I think I, like, run really fast, all this stuff." But then you show up to the start line and you're, like you still, like, make jumps in progress of, you learn new things. Like, I've learned new things in, like, an event I'm thinking about but then you realize there was actually, like, so much more that you could have tapped into or, like, you could have committed earlier or, like and
Mhm.
so then your performance would have been better. Like, there's it's so hard also with the longer stuff because it's like there's so many different variables we're playing with. But, yeah, I mean, um, learning to like, training and then racing are yeah, they go together, but they're, like, not exactly the same. Like, so
Right, right. I think what I loved what you said the most is that racing is a skill.
Mhm.
And, it's another tricky thing too, though, because, at least for me, I do feel like, obviously, I wanna improve my racing, so you would think, "Well, just race more." But at the same
Right.
time, like, coming off some of these races, even the marathon, which isn't, as long as a lot of the trail races that we do, like, I it is such a, like, a mental effort for me that I just need a lot of recovery time, and so I think there's a balance there also,
Totally.
just, like, making sure that you're really recovered. And I think a lot of us talk about it in terms of, like, feeling excited. Like, it is really hard to go and do these races if you're not excited about it, and I don't
Mhm.
know why, like, how to give that to somebody. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
if you're not excited about it, it's gonna be a harder race, and, like, I don't know how you would even coach that into somebody, like,
Mhm.
other than it would sound to me like if you're not excited about this, you're not recovered. You're not recovered from either your training, you're not recovered from your last race, and you need to put some more space in there, you need to put some more recovery time in there.
Mhm.
Is there another way that you think you could help somebody? Like, let's say somebody has a race coming up and they're just like, "I'm not feeling it." Like, I'm just feeling
Yeah. I think one thing is, like one thing that's been helping me, I think, is, like, just taking the pressure off caring about any given day and just, well, this week, for instance, like, I just raced, and I'm in a period where I'm like, I could be like, "Oh, gotta get back to it. I got another race in a month," like, all this stuff, but I'm just, like, going, like, it's almost like make it's like, yes, each one matters, but it's more about, like, consistency and actually, like, I've heard this said so many times that it's not like the body knows and, like, it's like, "Oh, I see you gave me a very specific workout today," or "I did" like, like, the stress from this race or the stress from your job, all this stuff, like, builds in, so it's like, I do think it's probably, like, just, like, totally take, like figure out a way to, like, reset a little bit and just, like
Mhm.
and so that's, like so after you finish something like, that might mean 2 weeks of, like, "Okay, I have stuff on this schedule, but I'm I I'm not giving this like, I'll go do it, but I'm not gonna, like, fixate on it or go like, 'Oh, I have to get a certain amount of vert,' or I have to get, my heavy, you know, um, deadlifts in or whatever." And, but definitely, like yeah, just, like, figuring out mental ways to reset. I mean, that could also be, like Um, there's things other than running, like, there's of course, there's, yoga helps some people, or I don't know if you've ever been in a, like, float isolation tank, one of those things, but
Oh my gosh, no, have you done that?
yeah, it's cool. It's really cool.
Ooh,
And this is, like,
that would
where
be, like that'd be awesome post race just to go, like
yeah. But I think also sometimes or just, like, things that, I think sometimes it's like you finish something and you're like, "Oh, I just finished something, now I have to do something else, like, that, like, is fun for you or relaxing for you, that maybe you don't usually do or you don't usually have time for." Um, like, thinking of music, like, so, I used to play trombone a long time ago, that's what my husband does, but I was, like, this last, like, week, like, I played, like, 4 or 5 days, like, maybe 30, 45 minutes, which I haven't done in years, and that's just been, like, really fun and different, and, like, um I don't know, just, like, make it like, break it up, figure out ways to break it up that are I mean, there's no one size fits all here, but I do
okay, let's brainstorm
Mhm.
because I really like this idea of having a reset, and I think sometimes I see people rolling off of a race, they have another race down the road, and maybe they even have like, let's say you just did your 50K, well, I've got a 100K,
Mhm.
in 2 months, so this was just so a lot of times it's like almost like we're trying to roll these races and training together and build and
Mhm.
build and build and build and build,
Mhm.
and, I when I see some of that happen, I'm like,
Mhm.
injury incoming, like, I know, like,
Mhm.
you're asking for it if you don't have this reset, right? So I'm really liking this idea. Let's just rattle off, like, I loved you said yoga, um, what are those tanks
The
called?
float isolation tank. If you haven't done it,
Isolation
it's
tank, it sounds
cool.
so
It's like
scary, but I'm like
60 to 90 minutes, and you go, and then basically you're like, in this tank that you can very easily get in and out, you're not stuck, like, this, high concentration of
belly who can ring in
yeah,
there.
sodium
Yeah.
and magnesium and stuff like that, and, yeah, I mean, people have different experiences, but it can be a nice reset, so that's an option.
Yeah. Um, well, maybe, like, I guess I'm trying to also think about, for
Mhm,
me, the reset entails running less. Like,
mhm,
I'm
yeah,
recovering, I'm running less. But if somebody is needing a reset, but maybe they're not wanting to run less, which means they might not necessarily have more time. Because a lot of times that's part of the reset as well. It's like, okay, well, I have this extra time because I'm
mhm,
not running, so I can do this thing. Let's say that's not part of this person's plan. Like, they don't necessarily have more time, but they still need to, like, a mental reset.
mhm,
I think what you mentioned of just, like, trying something new, like,
yeah,
do something different, whatever that is. Like, it could be, um, I don't know what happened to me, and this is, maybe I had too much time, but I got this, like, embroidery kit off of Amazon. It's, like, $15 for an embroidery, like, 3 different, and it's, like, got the picture on there. It's literally like painting with numbers,
yeah.
it's like for 6-year-olds or something, but it was this cool, like, succulent print, and I wound up doing it, and I framed it for one of my friends, and I would do it at my son's baseball games, so I should have probably been watching the game, but that, I'm just trying to think of, like, what are some things that you could still fit into your life, not necessarily having more time, but, like, just different, right? So maybe something crafty.
Mhm.
I even I recently, like, the wildflowers are all in bloom here, and I gathered up a few, and I, um, put them in epoxy, just
Oh,
like those different, like, little molds, and I bought this little kit. It's like a light, so you epoxy all these flowers, and then you stick it on top of this, like, little LED light so it shines out,
mhm,
like, I don't know, go to Hobby Lobby, get yourself a kit,
yeah.
do the kit. I mean, that could just be a quick something new, like, part of a little reset, right?
Yeah, or like, let's say, you still need to have all your carbs and stuff like that. Like, make some bagels, like, make some bread, or let's say maybe you usually have one thing for dinner, like, go like, you know what? I'm gonna take, a few extra minutes and figure out something else that would be fun, that would be fun
I
to make.
love that.
You have
Like,
to
and
cook
bread,
anyway, so
make some banana bread.
yeah.
Right, I love that. I also thought, just cold plunging, like, I mean, it's
Mm,
it's all hyped up and stuff right now, but I mean, you're only supposed to be in there for, like, 3 minutes, so find a friend, maybe go, I mean, there's so many, like, little kind of pop-up stores right now where you can go, kind of like these recovery centers. Maybe just go pay for a cold plunge or 2, and not because it's gonna change your world, but because it's something different and something
yeah,
new and can just kind of give
totally.
you that spark, like that little sparkly reset that we're
Yeah.
talking about that is
I'm
important.
also, like, going back to what you said before about, like, sometimes people are, like, let's say it was their main race that they wanted, and so it's, like, like, they're more willing to accept that they're in a reset period or a down period, while sometimes it's, like, you do a race and you're like, "Well, I'm using that as training for the next one." But, like, I think one thing e I'm experimenting this year, which is more, it's just, like, a slight difference in mental approaches, like, giving a little space to every event. If you decide to sign up, even if you sign up, the week before and you're like, "Oh, I'm just using this as training." It's still it's still an effort. It's still something that should be respected, depends on the distance, but still so it's like, give it a little bit of a breather, and then if you breathe a little bit, then it's like, "Okay, maybe I have one less week in that build back to the next one," but you might be way better for it, less likely probably to get injured. Of course, it's so individual, but, like, maybe just, yeah, chill out and, like, don't worry about don't worry about, like, it being, like, a perfect, like, "Oh, I only got, 25 miles this week after this event." It's like, that's fine, like, better to take a little bit of a breather on your own terms than having to do it later not on your terms when you
Yeah.
so
I totally agree. I totally agree. I mean, the rule of thumb is 1 day off for every 10 miles.
Mhm.
So, you could, like, safely recover from a hard marathon effort in 3 days, but 100 miles is gonna be 10 days. Like, it does
Mhm,
feel it is a lot, but I just think, like, some of these are just rules of thumb.
mhm.
Can you say it like that? Rules of thumb,
Which
for
thumb?
reasons. I know, I'm like, is that did I say that right? It's like so much times in life right now, these old adages, like these old sayings come to my mind, and I'm like, yes, like these old sayings are old sayings for a reason. Like
Yeah.
we need to pay attention to them because they've been around for a long time. So that's me. I really think respecting efforts that you've put in, race efforts, even if it wasn't your A race, like really reset.
Mhm,
Okay. I'm gonna write up some of our fun, like, reset ideas because I think that can be helpful. It's also part of the planners that we make, our drop bag planners. There's usually a page or 2 of, like, post-race,
mm,
like, recovery days, and planning that can be really important. I mean, we always talk about, like, post-race blues, things like that, and so maybe fill these are a few ideas that people can fill in
yeah,
with.
yeah.
I also wanted to talk about and well, you wanted to talk about it because it's your idea. Uh, that talking about the different mental approaches going into a race, and you even mentioned, like, handling nerves. So we just kinda talked about maybe I got this backward. We talked about the post race or, like, in between races, but, like, let's go back to the beginning and your I mean, and there's, like, so many, like, you know typical things we say about, like, taper tantrums, like, you're going into a race, and so you're kind of having all of these pre-race mental feelings, physical feelings,
Mhm.
but maybe just let's start with, like, handling nerves. When do nerves typically kick in for you pre-race?
So it depends on what the event is. If it's something that, I mean, yeah, everyone's so different on this. Like, unfortunately, it's been something for me. Like, it's like the week before. If it's something I'm like I'm feeling anxious about, or like it feels like a huge, like, and it's funny because I've had some. It's not always related to the distance. It can be just something about it that's, it's, like, particularly intimidating. And so, yeah, I mean, like, um, yeah, it can definitely be tough of and it's funny because like, I think one thing it's like, people talk about breaking up an event into chunks and stuff like that, or just but, like, beforehand,
I thought you were talking about Billy Bob. I'm like, "Breaking up?"
Oh, right,
I was
Billy
like,
Bob.
You're breaking up before your race now." Okay,
Yeah,
breaking up the event, yes,
yes.
into chunks,
Yeah,
yes,
so
continue.
advice from Kelly, if you were in a relationship before an event, break it up
Break it.
and then go
Yeah.
run the race of your life. That
Yeah,
is
I
drop
mean,
bag, like,
you're gonna have
official
some new
recommendation.
energy.
No, but no, but I think it's like it's funny because it's like, I feel like, at least for me, up until a week before or so, it's like, I'm pretty good about being like, "Yeah, we're just gonna take it as it comes, we're just gonna eat all this stuff, like, it's gonna be great," but then the week of, you're like, "Holy cow, I gotta handle this huge, like, thing," and something about it is, particularly intimidating, but it's like, I think that's where it's just like so one thing I've been actively focusing on recently is like this idea. I've heard this before of like, have you ever thought, it's like you're nervous before and you just want the event to come. You just want it to, but it's also like, I've been like focusing on this thing of like those days before, like maybe it's almost like do things also in that period that are fun for you or like don't wish away that time because it's and
Mm.
so I like that's one thing I've been working on of just being like yeah we're gonna do our last little like spin up workout or whatever on this day and then we're gonna just like but then just like having fun with eating more food and hydrating more and just like, focusing on the things that you can control and like, food and hydration are definitely like, you know, you need that stuff on board and that's only going to make you like feel better on the day. And just like remembering that it's like like, I think sometimes also it's easy to get overwhelmed. Same with a workout of like, "Oh, I have to do this super hard effort." But in reality, ease into it. Like, you're gonna wake up, you're gonna, you're gonna do a little warm up or whatever you do beforehand, and then it's like I think it's like, "Oh, I gotta find this effort," but it's like, you gotta trust your body that you've done a lot of work and, like, that you'll find that effort, you'll find that a flow that works for you, and, rather than, like, going like, "I gotta hit, 7-minute miles, like, immediately, and it's gotta be" or whatever, you know?
Oh, yeah. Okay, Sarah, you have said so many things. So
Sorry.
now you're just gonna sit back and listen
Okay.
because I had to respond. I'm like, "Oh my gosh." Okay, 1, I think in the drop bag planners, there's not like a taper plan week before. Like we have the post race, like reflection and recovery and like planning,
Mhm.
which I think is so important, which we just already talked about out of order. But there needs to be a taper plan as well, like you're saying. And I was laughing because I I was using my planner and it doesn't have a taper week plan. And I'm pre-race and I am just doing massive amounts of yard work and I'm just like, I've got mulch like up on my shoulders and I'm like mid mulch and I'm like, I could get really sore doing this because it's not like typical.
Yeah.
I was like, that might not be great. And I just kind of was like, oh no.
Yeah, though
So
on the other hand, I mean, I think some people do, but, like, some people can, like, really not do anything or, like, some people talk about, like, the day before, like, yeah, as much as you can put your feet up depending on when the event, like, that's great. But also, like, for me, it's like, I kinda just like doing some things that would be normal, and just for instance, I went to this race really quick with my husband a couple years ago, and we flew in, like, a day and a half before, whatever, and so rather than, like, just sitting in the hotel, it's like, "Let's go explore, let's go get some good food, let's, like, walk around these areas." I mean, I'm not doing excessive things, but, like, go have fun, and, like, I think if you're, like, confined just, yeah, some other bring other little tidbits of fun, like, from the week before into your event, like, you can just, feel like that can be helpful.
okay. I like that. And I mean, honestly, maybe this all changes once we go pro. But like have fun, right? And
Yeah,
if you're not having fun, like what are you doing?
yeah.
Okay,
I
so
think the
I'm
pros
gonna
are
build in
having
the new
fun too, though. I think,
they are having fun.
yeah,
They're fun people.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna build in the taper plan into I'm gonna update the planners. One thing this is just something that I told my runners. I coached cross country for a little spell there. And it's what I tell myself as well. But something that I like to remind myself and tell other people is uh when I'm feeling nervy about the race coming up is that the race will take care of itself.
Yeah,
And
totally.
either you've done the training or you haven't. Like you're going to get to this race start and it's just gonna happen. So,
Mhm.
all of this, like, worry and stress and fear or whatever your anxiety you're feeling before, like, that's fine, but, like, manage it knowing that the race is gonna take care of itself. Like,
Yeah,
it you're gonna have a special day, you might have a terrible day, like, you know,
yeah,
it's gonna happen,
yeah,
and you don't have to really worry about it right now, like, a week ahead of time, so
yeah, yeah.
I tell myself that. Okay, here's a question, though, that I have. I have noticed that I've been starting to spin out on, like I will think way too much about what I'm gonna wear or and it's kind of like a process of, like, you're training in these different clothes or you've
Uh-huh,
maybe got a new pair of shoes, so you're training, and you're like, "Okay, should I wear this one or that one?" I mean, before Sam's Last Stand, I had gotten a new pair of Mount Coasts.
uh-huh,
I had an old pair of Sauconys. And I had a medium old pair of Ultras with the boa tie, which I really like. And I any of those shoes I felt like could be fine.
mhm.
But then I was like, "Okay, well, what do" like, every run, like probably for 2 weeks before the race, I would wear a different shoe and then be like, "Okay, well, like, did I like that one or this one?" And I feel like I'm spending too much energy going, you like, "This one or that one, this like, this shirt or that shirt or this," and I'll get done with a run and be like, "I think I just spun out for, like, an hour about, like, 2 different kinds of shorts." So, I'm wondering I have a thought of, like, maybe what I could do to help myself. Any reactions to that scenario
Well
that come to mind for you,
well,
Sarah?
my first thing is like, I mean, it's yeah, it sounds so crazy. I'm not yeah, there's no judgment because I do it too, but it sounds crazy
You are
like, what
crazy.
shirt is like, what shirt am I gonna wear? But, like, I legit, like, I have a race coming up in 2 months, and, like, you know, maybe once every few weeks, I have, like, a 30-minute try-on party of, like, different clothes, and I'm like, "Oh, this would be cute. I think I'd feel good in this. Oh, I don't know about those." And so I totally get it. Yeah, so but I think it's, like it's one of those things where it's, like, you know,
That's
it's fun. I mean, it's fun to pick your outfit. I mean, you gotta have a good fit. But it's also, like, with the shoes and stuff, it sounds like I mean, it sounds like in your case, you had 3 equally good shoes for you that could work, and it's kind of a matter of just, like, just be like, "Okay, I'm gonna wear these." Like, just, like, if you have a slight more gravitation and then kind of like, "You know what? We're not gonna change anymore. We can have another one in our bag, like, part way, a drop bag part way or something, like, if these aren't working." But, but I totally get that it's like, I don't think that needs to be a source of anxiety. Like, I think it's like, just use what you've been doing. Like, don't go, not going crazy of like, "Oh, I'm gonna wear this new pair of shorts that looks super cute, but I'm not sure about the material, but man, they would look good in a picture." Like, don't do that, you know?
although I've really been like, I don't really want a picture in X, Y, or Z."
Yeah,
Most of the time well, it's because I've started to notice, like, when I'm looking at pictures of other runners, I'm like, "Oh, that looks nice in a picture versus, like, that." I don't
yeah.
know. Too much. Okay, but I liked what you said, and here's what I think I'm gonna do game planning against that, is that it needs to be nailed down sooner rather than later. Because the closer you get to your race, the propensity to maybe spin out on some of these things might increase.
Mhm.
So, to alleviate that time period,
Yeah.
like, just maybe and, like, I think what you said is true. I had 3 good shoes, pick 1,
Well,
right?
what did you wear? I gotta know.
Okay, weirdly, I know. I I don't know if Saucony even makes these anymore because I bought them, like, a year ago because I bought 2 of them because they were on a Ganga sale. I'll have to look up what kind it is.
Wait, is it a road or a trail
And
shoe?
a trail
Okay.
shoe, but it was a half size so I had bought 2 pairs of these same Sauconys. They were, like, $80 because the sole of the shoe does not hold up.
Oh, okay.
So it was, like, a little bit of a risk to wear them anyway, but I bought one of them a half size bigger because I wasn't super sure about this sizing. And I don't think I like, both of them fit really well, but I was like, "I'm gonna go with the half size bigger because whatever."
Uh-huh.
And I had packed my Mount to Coasts as so, like, there was a river crossing, and I said, "Okay, after the river crossing, I'll put the other shoes on."
Uh-huh.
Well, I wound up not meeting my crew, and I just wound up wearing those Sauconys the whole way, and they were great. I have
Oh,
my
awesome.
feet were the happiest my feet were so good. I'm just so happy that
Wow. I mean, that's
they were
great.
shoes.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's yeah. I mean, yeah, you just showed that, like yeah, just yeah, it sounds like if like, whatever whether it's clothing or what fuel you're wearing or gonna eat, you're not gonna wear your fuel. Well, sometimes it goes everywhere. But,
Yeah.
just, do it early. Like, I try to make it fun with, like, with the fueling stuff. I'm like, "Okay," like, putting stuff in my drop bags or whatever. Like, don't do it the day before. Like, give so you feel like the week of, you're like, there's nothing I need to plan right now or minimal I
Mhm.
need to plan, and, like, it'll, like it's like, "This isn't a question anymore." Like, we're not we're not gonna change that, and if you are, then it's like, give yourself a time limit, and then you're moving on, you know?
Or also break it down and be like, "Okay, today," and maybe this is something that I can build into the taper plan as well, is like, "Okay, today I'm just going to nail down nutrition." Like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
figure out my calories at each aid station or stop and decide on what I'm having and just put that to bed,
Mhm.
and just maybe, like, tackle because I feel like a lot of times pre-race, I'll also am like, I've got, like, shoes and gels and gadgets and, like, everything is charged like, I'm, like, rotating charging, and I'm like, it is just like an explosion,
Mhm.
and I think it could be smart to maybe have a plan with that. Also, I'm gonna put on, like, those things that you're charging, that's comes at the end of the plan because those you gotta be doing,
Yeah.
like, day of,
Mhm.
but you shouldn't be also worrying about your nutrition at that point because you coulda done that before.
But if you don't know where your chargers are, then find those the week before.
Okay, yes, chargers are such a good
'Cause sometimes they're, like,
yeah.
really wonky chargers, and it's like, I don't know where this one unique little
Girl, do not get me started. I had a massive, um, gadget failure on my last race as well, so
Oh,
all
okay.
part of the fun, yeah. That's because I didn't plan weeks in advance like I should have.
But
I
it's
was just
also, like,
spinning out
if
about
you
what I
don't
wanted to
it's
wear.
like though I also get that it's like, it happens where you suddenly it's the week before, and then you're like, "Oh my gosh, I haven't done anything that this planner has told me to do with, like, prepping, blah, 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 or deciding things." It's like, that's okay too. Just, like, block off, you know, an hour and just, like, just get it done, like, just think through,
Yeah.
like with nutrition stuff, I think we can overthink it, but it's like, you know how much you've been taking in training, you know, like, what you, like, need, and then, of course, add a little extra for backup in your bags and stuff, but it's like, if there's not as many, like, things that need such, big thoughts about as we give them credit for.
Yes. Okay. I think we have talked about a lot of things here.
We have.
I think we've got some good, like, little pieces that, I'm gonna use. I'm gonna, like, develop my plans a little bit more. Let's go ahead and finish with a comment that you made, and this is maybe part of going back to, like, the fitness versus mental
Uh-huh.
that where we started, and you talked about, like, trusting your body. It's
Mhm.
just a note that you wrote when we were, like, kind of brainstorming, and I guess I just wanted to finish on that and kind of, um, just hear your thoughts on where you're coming from, like, experiences that you've had trusting your body going into some of these big efforts.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's almost a pretty similar idea to what you had said about, like, the race will be, or like, you've done the work, you've done all this stuff, and you show up, and it's like, you might have a good day, you might not have a good day, but there's a lot that, it's you just gotta go and you just gotta start. But one example for that for me was I remember I had a few month period where actually I was dealing with low sodium, didn't know that, had a blood test, realized I need to up my sodium. But anyway, I was just feeling really wrecked from the previous race I had done, and so, I mean, I was training, but it really did not feel good, like, for a while, and I remember going into it was a race that was gonna be it was 50 miles, and I was gonna go like, "Oh, man, how am I gonna do this?" Like, I feel so bad, everything feels really slow. I'm doing workouts, but it was not going well, but it was fine, but I was excited about the event, like, it was like, "This isn't going well, but I'm looking forward to it, and then if nothing else, I'm definitely taking a break after this event." And, you know, it w I you show up, I if you feel particularly wrecked, take more rest leading into an event, like, if you're like, "Oh, no, I overdid it," and you're a week out, like, just, like, you know, take an extra rest day or 2. But anyway, showing up to the event going and then, like, running and feeling like, "Wow, like, my body showed up for me. Like, I gave it
Right.
it was really struggling for months, and but, it was really hard, and I think there's a lot of things had my training gone better, then, certain things would have been easier, but I was, like, blown away, afterwards going like, "Wow, it's incredible what our bodies can do." And, when you're having it's like, sometimes you don't get the training you want in, but if you're excited about an event, it might hurt a lot. It probably will, don't think it won't hurt, but, if you go in, excited to finish it, you probably will be able to, barring other things. So, just trust your body to, figure it out. So, yeah.
I like that, and actually, it's kind of like the other side, and I mean, that's how this all is, right? Is
Mhm,
like we talked about before, like finding this balance of like sometimes, like I'll tell people who are kind of like maybe just, like, struggling with motivation for, like, their workouts, like, they're just like, "Man, I'm not stuck." I'm like, "Sign up for a race," which is, like, the opposite of what we talked about at the beginning of, like,
mhm,
taking rest, making sure you're
mhm,
recovering. Like, sometimes just going and being around fun people,
yeah,
having fun, being excited about the sport, like, it just can, like, create its own motivation and own enthusiasm and just kinda give you this little spark back
mhm.
that you can go do something exciting that day, whereas maybe you came into it feeling a little bit low. And so I think that's a great idea as well, is like, ultimately, you've got a lot of training and knowledge if you've been listening to this podcast for the past year. So, like, you can trust your body to go do one of these efforts, and I think, like, maybe some of the things we've talked about as well is, like, yeah, maybe have a little bit of grace for yourself knowing where your training's been,
Mhm.
and, I think just most of my best races have come from a place of, like, "Hey, I'm here to have fun, and I just wanna, like, go, like,
Absolutely.
enjoy like, just have a blast out here," right?
Yeah.
Where your, like, excitement is high, your energy is higher, and sometimes you don't come in that way, but the race gives that to you,
Yeah.
so that can be another way to
I've
look at it.
definitely always had my best races, when I've been excited to do it, for sure. Actually, one thing that you just reminded me of, so it's like, if nothing else, one thing I remember talking about with my husband was this idea of, just, be curious, show up to the start line with the idea of, how much can I learn in this? Rather than going "Oh, I gotta execute all this." It's like, because it's like, even if we do everything we can, there's, things we could learn, and so it's like being like, "Yeah, be curious, like, learn for the next time, and have fun." Focusing on curiosity and having fun, I think helps you stay in, a good place where you are more likely to perform better how you want to, rather than if you're like, "I gotta execute this thing," and, in that lack of
Mhm.
flexibility, I think curiosity is flexibility.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's key. So, it's cool.
Yeah, it goes back if you think about, like, the times where you're really rigid and really just, like, exacting, and it just cuts away some of the fun, and I just think trail running is a fun sport, and,
Mhm,
like, that's what you have to keep with you. It's fun, it's about being outside, it's about having an experience, and so the more true to that you can be, most likely the better experience you're gonna have, and I will never forget, I was watching this it was a video of, Western States, and a professional runner came up to her crew. Oh, she had missed her crew, and so the next time she was with her crew, and this is on video, she's so upset. She's just, like, destroyed it because I think she says in the video she had 15 minutes where she didn't have nutrition. 15 minutes.
wow.
I'm like, "Girl, that's not like 15 minutes, you're fine, like,
Yeah,
go run, like,
yeah.
you got this," but she had become so rigid that, like, the race was over for her.
Uh-huh.
Like, there was no, like, curiosity, there was no flexibility, there was no having fun anymore because this rigid pathway that she had, decided on
Mhm.
got messed up, And so I think maybe just this is another podcast where we go back to like, yeah, stay flexible, stay curious, keep
Mhm.
having fun. Like those are the things that we take away and that keep us going
Yeah.
and that make any effort, whether it's your A race, whether it's, you show up and you're just not feeling like you wished you would have felt, like there are still things to learn. There's still like a good time to be had. I mean, you cannot go on these races and not have a good time. I mean, you have to try to not have a good time because there's I mean, everybody's having a good time. People are encouraging you. The aid station people are pumped. Like people are throwing food at you. You got your gear. I mean, like we love our gear,
Yeah.
Like you're surrounded by all this really fun stuff that to like give that up in order to like have this rigid plan is probably the worst plan of all. And
Mhm.
so again, like our takeaway, just like flexibility, have fun, be curious.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Mm.
write the actually, sometimes it's like you need to remind yourself, take a Sharpie beforehand or something and write that on your arm, like, have fun. Like, just if you can do things that can take you out of like, cause totally racing can get, maybe you're in a low or you're actively competing with another person and you're pushing each other or whatever, like, and then suddenly you're feeling, like, stressed again or you're, like, in a low, but it's like, oh, right. Like, have fun. Okay, what can I do now to, like, make me feel better? Maybe I need a gel. Like, when in doubt, take a gel, you know? So yeah.
That's, that's, uh, Rachel Jenkins. If ever changes, that's my cutie. It just starts feeling and I was laughing. So on Lone Star Trail, which we'll recap, I got lost,
Oh,
and because this wasn't a normal race, it wasn't like it was
yeah.
only like trail makers,
Mhm.
and a portion of the trail was very destroyed. And I found myself, I had this moment where I'm standing in the middle of a national forest, and I'm like, I'm off trail in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
I called my crew and there's, like, no service. The calls are just dropping. I couldn't pull up a map. There was absolutely no service. Like, I was not gonna be able to find my way out of here. And I called my crew and I had missed them, and I was like, "Guys, I really need you to be at this next stop. I am going to die out here."
Oh, wow.
I
Yeah.
said those words. I'm like, "I'm gonna die." So, I think for a minute, I had become really rigid.
Yeah.
And as soon as I got off the phone, I just started laughing. I'm like, I just told my friends that I thought I was gonna die out here. D like, probably not, like, it's probably being a little
Yeah.
dramatic. And so, it was fun to have a laugh at myself, but like you're saying, like, I think it's pretty easy when you're trying to be your best to become really rigid. And I think our culture teaches that as well. Like,
Mhm.
you've got to take X, Y, and Z. And like the self-care we do now, like it's overwhelming the amount of
Mhm.
things that you can feel like you need to do to be your best, which pushes you into a really rigid pathway. And so I think that's kind of goes back to some of our like our reset ideas. It's like
Yeah.
reset and do something fun and different and spontaneous and weird and
Yeah.
like in a tank by
Yeah.
yourself so that you can like get off that rigid pathway for a minute.
And if you're in the middle of an event, like, you just reminded me of just, like, it's, like, amazing how just, like, if you, like, force a smile or you, like, actively go, like, something's not going well, and then you just, like, randomly laugh at yourself, like, make it a weird laugh or something, like, it'll, like, go to your brain, and then suddenly it might, like, trip a wire that you're suddenly like, "Oh, wait, okay, like, we got this. This is fine." And so it's like, yeah, I don't know, like I might actually actively think if I start to get into a place where I'm feeling rigid in an event, either do something weird or actively like smile or laugh out loud. Like out loud. And yeah, so
And that goes back to your, like, racing as a skill, like, these are actually mental strategies, like,
totally.
to have, like, a reminder on your drop bag of, like, be curious or have
Yeah.
fun. Also, like, I talked about this before, but, like, for some reason in this race, I started thanking every bridge that I crossed 'cause there's so many just, like, little kind of, like, tributary bridge And they were I was like, "Thank you, bridge," because
Yeah.
I didn't have to go down and up and, like, through a creek, you know? And
Yeah.
so I probably thanked, like, 50 bridges on this run. And so that was something that it just kind of happened in the race because I was feeling thankful for the
Yeah.
first bridge and the second bridge and, but, I think, hopefully people listening to this are just getting some ideas and reminders of, like, "Hey, I need to be ready to have some fun in this race, and when I start feeling rigid, here's what I'm gonna do," or, "I'm gonna
Mhm.
have this reminder,"
Mhm.
or, "I'm gonna tell my crew to, you know, remind me how dumb I am," or, just something that,
Yeah.
resets me even in the middle of the race, so
Yeah. I love that.
good stuff, yeah, good. Alright, Sarah, well, I gotta hop off because it's time to go have fun here out at my, Lake
Yeah,
Livingston camping
yeah,
spot.
you are camping right now, so we gotta get you back to Billy Bob and your music
Gotta
and
I'm gonna keep some space there, but, anyway, thanks for hanging out, Sarah. We'll set a time so we can do our some race recapping just for people who are interested maybe in the specific races that we have done or just, talking through strategy and race reflections, so
that sounds awesome. Well, this has been great. Yeah, I look forward to chatting
been
again
great.
soon.